Hello, we're going to review Emmett Shear, the CEO of Twitch, and we're gonna review his Google Sheet that he made. He's been on this earth for 40 years almost, same as me. Similar. I think he's a year older than me. I'm about to reach 40. I just created Memento Mori, the dashboard for death, the death dashboard, and it's very morose, morbid. And so I saw this, and it jumped out on my Twitter feed, Emmett Shear and his life-to-date sheet. He also definitely does share this, and so that's really cool. And then Tiago in the comments mentioned or showed this other, infographic. It's not a sheet, but it shows you your early years, your school years, and this probably was, he said I'm sure it was at least partially inspired by seeing this one. So I wanted to go over it and just make a couple of interesting I want to make a few little updates to it that I think could make it so much better, that makes it feel better. Now, what's interesting too is that all of the things that I do to make it better don't necessarily make it more shareable. I do want to point that out, that Emmett is CEO of Twitch. He has a good presence on Twitter. And this sort of screenshot screams, this is a Google Sheet, right? This is a Google Sheet. I made this in a Google Sheet. I made this sort of just to have a nice little visual, and it accomplishes that, right? And what we're going to do is we made a copy in our Google Drive. I realized that there was one of my pet peeves is he's hidden the second row. I think this might have been just for use for a little bit, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete it. And I don't think we really need it if we have this reference here that we showed up. So from what I can tell, it's just this one formula here. We can actually go and view formulas to see if there's any other formulas here. There's just plus ones here. Makes it pretty simple to just put in maybe that's his birthday or something. I don't see any other sheets. I don't see any other. I see some in T3. Maybe it was some birthday thing, but I'm going to just change this so that it's static, so we don't have a formula here. We don't need I don't think we need the number of the week, so we'll just turn that to May. Notice too that there's just a little bit of massaging here that needed to happen. I think May is 5 weeks, July is 5 weeks, and June is 3 weeks here, but this can be, January is 5 weeks as well, and most of them are 4. Here's 5 again, 5, 4, and December is 3 weeks. So you can massage these around if you want to highlight one of these months. But I think this is pretty cool. We can make a couple of very quick changes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to unhide formulas, but I'm also going to hide the grid. I don't think the grid needs to be shown. Again, if you are looking for a screenshot that screams Google Sheets, then do exactly what Emmett did. But we're going to have he has these majority cities, he has years. I don't know why you have to fill in the first two and then add +1. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that and fix that. So now all you do is swap out the first year, 1984 for me, and now all of those should be updated to 2024. And this also goes only up to what he needed. We're going to update this and add another, let's say, 40 rows. We want all of that. At least if you watched my Memento Mori video, which I can link to in this description, I'm going to live till 2055. May 5th, 2055 is my death date. But we can keep a few years extra here. And also, everybody's life expectancy is probably different, so let's add a couple more. So one thing we did is we deleted that second row. What we can do as well is we can take off this frozen row. I don't think we need it. You absolutely can use it if you want to make this as you need it to. You'll probably change this birth. Actually, mine is right around here, so I would change it here. I would probably just take this color and do it again. We want to change this text. I don't like this Arial. I like Carla myself, but you might not because we might need to make it a little bit bigger. That looks great. I also want to change this from white. I don't want pure white on the background. I know that You want to, in this kind of template or this kind of sheet, you might want a high contrast, but I don't think you need like the highest contrast. So I'm going to change this to a bit of a paper color, F8. And it's just a subtle change, but I think it's going to make a huge difference in coming back to this time and time again. And we're going to also change the text color. We don't want the blackest black, so we're just going to change it to 444 here. And again, just super simple little color change. We might actually make it a little bit, what do you call it, less contrast? Yeah, we're going to make it a little bit yellower. There we go. That's the way we want it. So that really shows up. And I'm going to go ahead, and I want to plan this out. This is paternity here he has. But we're going to move that all the way for another some odd years. So you can come in here and you can also deal with this yourself. I'm going to add another thing after paternity, which is the kids move out. All right, so a few more changes I did is I took out the personal things and I made it general. So if you want to take this spreadsheet and use it, and I also added this summer holiday all the way through. The reason for that is I noticed in Emmett's that he did this naturally. He has these things that he did during the summer. And these things that he did during the summer end up being his life much more than a single entry of Yale or some school. We can see this. We can also see this sort of summer holiday rhythm to the year keep coming up. Kiko ran for 2 years, but then had a glorious bumming around just before Justin TV, and that is the same as summer holidays. We can see his Twitch relaunch, summer holiday. The pivot happened over the course of a year. That was essentially the school year. This could have also been because YC is built around the summer holidays and was for many years, so that might have been reason there. But I did want to showcase this rhythm to the year around this summer holiday, and then I stopped it here when Emmett went into Justin TV, even though you have a hangover for a couple of years if you graduate as 22 from uni, or you go into maybe even a couple more years of uni, or that hangover, you end up having a summer holiday. You work for a year somewhere, you work for another year somewhere, you don't normally go straight into working all day, every day, forever. You have that sort of hangover. So I wanted to showcase that. And maybe an early career here, and I like that there was Justin TV, there was a pivot, he showcased that. So I'm going to just go over this a little bit to show that you probably have a different stuff you're doing here. And you might have a different rhythm as well. But here he has paternity when this is me. Sorry, I changed it to me. I added a couple of years to it. Emmett is just now in his paternity phase. I just moved it to my own when I got a kid in 2021. And then I added summer holiday for the kids. So even though we get out of our summer holiday rhythm, we end up back in the summer holiday rhythm once we have kids, and then we have an empty nest. If you only have one kid, this might only be 18 years. Oh wait, that's only 13 years. No, yeah, 13 minus 5, because you probably don't have a summer holiday before they go to school. So once they go to school, now your year is based on their summer holiday. And then again, based on how many kids you have, you'll end up with an empty nest at some point, empty nest for years, and then retire in some particular way. So you might also still have summer holiday. Maybe if as a grandparent, you're on the grandkids' summer holidays. I wanted to make this a little bit better and a little more adjustable for your own and all of us. Emmett did a cool job here. And again, it looks and screams and feels like a Google Sheet, right? But we want to make it look like, okay, can we really see our life? And maybe this summer holiday is a little too in your face, and maybe it should be more shaded towards these shades. So let me do that. There we go. So this blends in a lot more. I think that summer holiday bursts out because it's also text here, and you're going to just fill in your own text for actually interesting things. We can also let's take down this text to gray. That really seals the deal here. So it's similar hue or the same color, similar color as the years that they are, but they are shaded a little differently to really knock out like, hey, this is different. Again, we see this in Emmett's life here, and we can see this in our own lives, that there's going to be some rhythm around this summer, right? The natural rhythm of the earth, we're going to have that rhythm ourselves in our life. So I did want to keep this here to show that very starkly. Yeah, and maybe we can add better sheets here, because I think better sheets came around 20. Yeah, here, let's add some better sheets, because we definitely need it. I'll use this green actually, and white, and I think it was April 20. And now I see why we need this. As we get in the years, we want April. We want to see this first line. So there we go. First week of April, we have better sheets. Oof. And we can also put those there. It's cool. Ooh. And maybe we color this in some other way for paternity, but it is a whole new life, this paternity thing. So yeah, I'm going to look forward to 2025, 26, getting into elementary school and starting my summer holiday all over again. Very interesting way to see our lives, right? Our lives unfold from elementary, middle school, high school, university, take these little gaps, maybe these gaps, not gaps, but these timelines are really reminiscent of startup life, another 3 or 4 years, a university style learning, and maybe our life is filled with those, or we end up with 1 or 2 that are way more. So like my not paternity, but my Better Sheets has been going for 3 years, and I'm really excited to see more Google Sheets, right? And see how this parenting thing goes, right? Empty, and looking forward to an empty nest and retirement, maybe, or not looking forward to it. Hopefully this has been an interesting video, so you can see how we might take someone's Google Sheet and make it a little bit better and make it a little more adjustable to our own, and see also this very clear, cool rhythm to the year. Bye. Watch the latest video from Better Sheets right here. If you haven't watched any other videos on Better Sheets, you are in for a treat. Enjoy.